Hello, everybody. This is Hybrid, and today I'll be bringing you a number one of Batman. So, if you don't know what my number ones are, they are basically how I would write, I guess, the introduction or how I would write the character, like how I would portray his powers slash abilities slash the character in general. And someone brought up a good point. I should also bring up I would have them interacting with the world. So, I'm also going to talk about that as well. And hopefully I can get this between 5 to 10 minutes max because I also got Amazing Spider-Man, the game, and I want to try playing that soon. So, yeah, but let's get started. So, the main thing about Batman, I don't care what you say. It's not that he's a martial artist. It's not that he's peak human. It's not that he has a bunch of toys. It's that Batman is a detective. He first appeared as a detective. Sorry, I'm like mumbling over my words. But yeah, so the first thing I would do when I'm writing Batman was make sure that he be portrayed as a very smart person. Knows forensics, he knows his science, knows his chemistry, all that stuff that it would take to be a detective. He has very good analysis skills, things like that. But origin wise, I guess, I'd keep it relatively the same. Like, obviously, I would stay true to the character. Parents got murdered. But maybe I add a little bit more flavoring to that. Because for just his parents getting murdered, that driving him to become Batman, nowadays compared to everybody else, like people would be like, "Oh, you're just a sad little kid with toys and a lot of money and a lot of free time," basically. So you might want to spice it up. Like I know they have this whole Court of Owls thing, and that's really cool. But maybe have it like an assassin or not an assassin, but more. There's maybe like more to it than just some random gun. Some random guy with a gun shooting his parents. Like something that would make him want to go so far to become what he ends up becoming, which is Batman. So his parents are really rich, obviously, and famous in Gotham City. Maybe they had enemies, maybe political enemies. Maybe there's another family like the Cobblepots. I don't know why I'm mumbling. Sorry about that. But yeah, maybe Penguin's family. They didn't like the Wayne family, which they've portrayed a lot of times in other media and comics, basically. But yeah, let's say they hired someone to kill the Waynes, but no one like fancy or anything, but just somebody that they could use that you couldn't trace back to them. So maybe that's ends up being how Bruce Wayne, like how I would put Bruce Wayne's parents died. And let's say cops are just like, oh, it was just some random killer on the streets, but Bruce Wayne, that's his parents. It means something to him. So let's say he hired people to like be a detective, find out what's going on. But they found some stuff, but they couldn't really go for it because whenever they get close enough, they get taken out or something like that by other people because the Cobblepots obviously would have people to make sure that no one found out because this is a big deal. It's the Wayne family, Gotham's big prestigious family. So yeah, and then after that, I'd have where that's when Batman, or Bruce Wayne, he starts becoming Batman. He's studying forensics very heavily. He's starting to train in martial arts. Like he goes around the world to learn the best of the best. So let's say he heard that the best trackers were in China. Like I'm not saying they are, but let's just say they are. He'd go to China because he wants to know the best. Like this is how dedicated he is to it. And this is what leads him to become Batman, the best at what he is. So that's how I would basically, kind of write his origins. Because, I feel a lot of times with these origins, because a lot of them are written a long time ago, nowadays compared to like the new modern age of origins, it's not as complex. So that's where I'd at least do it. I don't know if you guys like it or not. I personally still like the original origin, but it's just if I were to write it, this would be basically the premise of how I'd write it. And I guess and I totally take out the whole Batman Incorporated stuff. I think that's stupid. But yeah, let's go to his abilities and whatnot. So, I guess you could still say he's peak human, but I wouldn't basically like flat out in a panel be like, oh, I'm peak human. I'd maybe like allude to it, like I'd have him doing various strong acts, like maybe he does something very reminiscent to what Bruce Lee did, like let's say a kick or something like that, but with a lot of force. Like, something, because a lot of people do consider Bruce Lee to be, peak human or whatever. So let's say just have Batman doing specific things that makes him appear to be peak human. Like, because I feel if you flat out there say how strong a hero is, or basically like state, oh, he's this powerful, that puts boundaries on the character. So that's where I'm coming from with that. And then obviously detective skills, he has to have that. He is flat out to the core a detective. So, that's very central to me to have in the character. And how he would interact with others, I'd say. I'd write it so, by day he is, because I stay with the original thing with Batman only coming out at night, because bats are nocturnal. At least the majority of them are. I have seen bats during the day sometimes. So, yeah, back to what I was talking about. I have Bruce Wayne, the playboy to a degree, like he's just very social, you could say. He flirts a lot, he makes people think that he's always out there and that there's no way he'd have time to be Batman. Also, he's very nice to people, donates, he lives up to the Wayne name, basically. So the Waynes were known for being very generous. I wish I would stop stumbling with my words. Generous, and they'd, donate a lot. Bruce Wayne does that too. He lives up to his name. And then at night, though, he totally changes. It's very close to a different personality, you could say, where, he's very cold, calculating, like, he's not, there's no way you could tell that's Bruce unless you took the mask off, because, he's deadly, he's precise, he's accurate, he doesn't put up with anything, he's very, not militaristic, but serious when he puts on the cowl. And that's how I'd write Batman. And, a lot of people, someone messaged me, is like, if you do Batman, are you going to talk about Robin? No, I'm not going to talk about Robin, because this is just how I'd write Batman, not how I continue writing Batman, but how I'd write Batman if I was starting with issue number 1. So I would never include Robin until down the road, because I feel if you include Robin right away, that kind of takes away from Batman. So, yeah, that's just really where I'm going with that. I hope you guys liked my video. I got some pretty positive response on my Superman one. If you haven't seen that, check it out. And if you like the video, like it. If you comment below, actually, on your thoughts, any recommendations, whatnot. Maybe some other people you'd like to see me talk about. And then also, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that. It's great. And I have a lot of comic book videos. Actually, all of my videos are comic book related. So, yeah, I'm going to go play Amazing Spider-Man now. And I hope you liked the video. Thanks.